Welcome to Frankly, My Dear, the podcast that explores just how bananas things were in classic Hollywood. Classic Hollywood was wholesome, right? People talk about the films with such nostalgia and wish for those days back. But what I find more interesting is the seedy underbelly, the backstory, the movie trivia, the backdrop of those films and what went on behind the scenes. These were real people. They had their own stories. They soldiered on to create these films that you so love, and I appreciate even more now by knowing their lives and struggles. So join me as we uncover the mystery and peel back the velvet curtain of classic Hollywood to not just highlight the scandals, but the triumphs of these film giants. So I have a guest today. This is Alyssa. We've known each other forever. Yes. So we are going to do an episode today as we have finally entered February. January took forever. And we are going to focus on Valentine's Day and couples in the classic movie era. So 1960s or a little bit earlier. 80s have their place. However, that's not today.
It's not our focus today.
Right. So I have been doing a lot of research on Carole Lombard. So the most famous couple there would be her and Clark Gable. But they did do one movie together called No Man of Her Own, but that was while they were married to other people. Although they did start dating when he was still married to somebody else. But anyway. Right. So in No Man of Their Own, they are a couple. They have quite a bit of chemistry. I don't know if you've seen that one.
No.
So that's the only movie they did together. She also, though, did Ladies' Man, and Man of the World was actually the first movie she did with William Powell, which I have mixed feelings about because, spoiler, they do not end up together at the end. So it is not really a romance at all. However, there was romance on the set. Oh, I know. That's where they fell in love, and then they did Ladies' Man together, which was a more enjoyable film, but spoiler, dude gets thrown off the building at the end. So it is a pre-code. Ladies' Man is a pre-code movie. He plays a gigolo, which, yeah. So, like, there's this older woman that he gets involved with, and Carole Lombard actually plays her daughter, but then her dad finds out and basically throws him off the building at the end. So, But anyway, Carole Lombard and William Powell got together after that. They were only married for just over 2 years, and then were BFFs forever after that. So that was an interesting dynamic there. And then later on, she got involved with Clark Gable. They met at a ball, or re-met at a ball that Carole organized, and basically, like, snuck off and talk to each other.
Charity ball or something?
Yeah, it was called the Mayfair Ball. Carole chaired it, and she had this whole theme of black and white, and then Norma Shears showed up in red, and she got real mad. Yeah.
Balls on that woman. Sorry.
Yeah. So, like, they went out. There was, like, a tennis court there, too, I think. There's this photo of her and Clark Gable, and then they shared a cab, and he invited her up to his hotel room because he basically stayed in a hotel room. He was not really staying with his wife. They didn't really like each other. I don't know. Nobody liked each other. Everybody was all over. Hence the bananas. Everybody was being bananas everywhere.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So they shared a ride back, and then he invited her up to his hotel room, and Carole Lombard famously quipped, "Who do you think you are, Clark Gable?" And then left him there. So, and then they started dating after that, but
left her impression.
Yes. Yes. So that is what I have deep dove into. Do you have a favorite couple of the era, or one you would like to talk about?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, we were talking earlier about Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn.
Yes.
You said something controversial.
So I said I basically only like Katharine Hepburn with Cary Grant.
Why do you think that is?
Maybe because I like Cary Grant so much. She can be a lot sometimes. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing for a woman to be a lot, but I don't know, she's very dramatic, and I think he helps balance her out a little bit.
As opposed to, like, Spencer Tracy.
Yeah.
Because you knew they were together.
Right.
And so there's going to be that, like, be professional, babe, energy between them.
Probably, yeah.
But yeah, I can see that, because she can be a little sharp.
Because in Bringing Up Baby, he plays, like, the straight to her crazy.
Crazy.
Right. Except for that one part where he just went gay all of a sudden and is leaving.
All of a sudden.
One of the first instances in film where that was used that way. Because that's how it is homosexual in that
just
context.
what it was. Yep.
He is his pretty robot. And I just hit the microphone so I'm really cool. That's the first one. Yeah. Bonk.
Yeah, that would be my vote for, my favorite couple, because I find all of their movies quite charming. Like Holiday and Bringing Up Baby
Yep,
and
Holiday's
Philadelphia
good.
Story. And was there one more or not? I can't remember. But either way.
Was Sylvia Scarlett with him, or was that... Oh,
I think you're right, actually.
I think Sylvia... I haven't seen that one. I liked Holiday, though.
I think I tried to watch that one, and it was like too early or too... whatever. It just did not hold my interest.
Yeah.
So.
Bringing Up Baby is good.
It's so funny.
And my kids really like that for the leopard.
Oh, of course.
And the dog.
The animals, and Cary Grant's acrobatics always.
Speaking of Cary Grant, I really like him in Monkey Business, too, with Ginger Rogers. They have a very easy chemistry there, too.
And Marilyn's in that one, right?
Yes, and Marilyn Monroe's in it. They often put her on the DVD cover, but she's not like a main character.
No, she's in the movie for like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah,
not really, but like she has a very small part.
Yeah, that was early on in her career. My kids like the monkeys in there too. So yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
So that's a good one. I think my favorite would be Ann-Margret and Elvis in Viva Las Vegas, which I just saw in the last couple of years for the first time. I had never really dove into the Elvis stuff. That was something I had heard. Like, growing up, my parents have CDs, and I had heard Elvis, and I knew who he was a little bit. And then once I watched that, I was like, dude, because their chemistry, because they were dating at the time. Like, they met in production.
So they actually did date.
For like a year. Yeah.
Huh.
So they got together during production. It was also... I don't want to open the can of worms that is Priscilla, but like he had already met her. Well, he had already met her, but they weren't like official. She was a teenager. She hadn't come over to Graceland yet.
Yeah, yeah.
And not to defend it, because okay. Priscilla is a whole thing.
Yeah,
and
that's just
if you look at the context of the time, it wasn't as insane as you think of it being today, and her parents did a whole thing. Like there's stuff going on.
It's more
there.
of like a, hey, let's trade.
Right. And they like didn't live together until like she was legal. Like they
way later.
There were lines drawn there, as weird as it is to think about.
Right.
So he had met her, but they weren't like a serious thing. So
But Ann-Margret was more of like she made sense to him, like as a partner.
They were very similar. So, like, the energy that they gave off and they fed off each other, like, their dancing was similar. Like, she shook a whole bunch. She kind of was a very strong personality, and I think stood more toe-to-toe with him. So I don't know if that's necessarily what he wanted, but they were together a long time.
But, yeah, again, that balance of energy is always important.
Right. So... And just the chemistry, like, you can tell how into each other they are. Like, that eye contact, the whole thing. That is some of the most intense chemistry I've seen in any film. Because they were obviously very into each other. And I find it interesting, too, because Ann-Margret is, like, the one person that won't talk about him very much. She still
like,
loves
no,
him,
I
and it
respect
is
our
a
memories.
respect. Right.
Don't want to talk about it. This is all information that can just stay with me.
Right.
Yeah. For sure.
Because I've wondered, too, what would have happened to him if they'd stayed together. Would he have pulled her down? Would she have saved him? I don't know. She was a very strong personality, so again, I'm not sure if that's what he wanted.
Right.
Based on some of the other stuff.
What he maybe needed.
Right.
You never know.
Right.
But yeah, it's interesting to think about the what ifs.
And he sent her flowers every time she opened a show, and so they had lifelong connection there, too.
Cutie patootie.
So I also am an author, so I'm going to plug that for a second. I wrote...
Edit.
So that's why I wanted to write my paranormal romance stuff, because I wanted to give him the happy ending.
Yeah.
And then there are vampires, so I mean, whatever. But...
Win-win.
Right. So that whole series is kind of like, okay, here's the tragedy. Can I give these people their happy endings? And then there's also like supernatural creature stuff going on. But
Did you say that title?
Fang Me Tender.
Okay.
Right. I like to use play on words sometimes. So
Writer things.
Right. So that would be my vote for favorite couple, because of the intensity. And then it was kind of funny at the time because there's a scene, spoiler, at the end of Viva Las Vegas, they get married, so they're dressed that way. And at the time, the photo was out there, and they were like, "Did they get married?
Did they get married?
Did they not get married?" There was a whole
That's
a whole thing about that.
The juiciest promotional material that you could possibly have at the time. That's
like,
funny.
look at this photo. They totally did something.
Did they get married on set? Oh my goodness.
Right.
That would have been so cool.
But yeah, just the play on their energy back and forth was
absolutely
stellar.
Absolutely. And call back real quick to Cary Grant and his other on-screen love, in my opinion, and that would be Audrey Hepburn, of course.
In Charade. Charade is great.
But, I'm a little bit of a Cary Grant fangirl, so,
Charade is good stuff, though.
It's so good. It was like...
And their chemistry is great.
What did people call it back then? They called it like the Hitchcock film that wasn't a Hitchcock or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because it was done so... Wow, the music. Henry Mancini did the music for that. It is amazing.
Yeah, it was great music. And just the chemistry and her being the aggressor was done very well. They seemed like they had a lot of fun.
Well, you wouldn't have ended up liking him as much because he was just kind of like this bumbly, silver fox, more like.
Right, but that was part of his thing.
But that was part of his charm.
He didn't want it written that way. He wanted, he's like, okay, if I'm going to do this, like, she could be my kid. So make her be the pursuer and it'll work. And then
and he removed the creep factor. He's like, the man's a genius. It's like, of course. Perfect.
Speaking of the creep factor and Audrey Hepburn, so in Sabrina, not a fan of her ending up with Humphrey Bogart. They did not have chemistry in that movie.
That movie didn't do well, I thought, when it first came out.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It did okay, but they expected it to be more and it just wasn't, or whatever.
Right.
But then I don't know how the crowd reacted to her having an affair with, what's his name?
William
Holden. I almost said William Powell.
We were talking about William Powell, right?
Yep.
William Holden. So they were together and like super in love, and then he couldn't have kids anymore. I think he had gotten snipped or something, and she really wanted kids. So they ended up breaking up, and then he tried to get back together with her when they did Paris When It Sizzles, and she would not because she wanted kids. So
she's like, nah.
But I thought they had way more chemistry than her and Humphrey Bogart. That didn't work for me.
Oh, 100%. Like, what does he say in the film?
Humphrey Bogart doesn't even seem like he wants to be there.
He's like Joe College with a touch of arthritis when he's trying to like dress down for their date or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like he knew that wasn't.
He was phoning that in. I'm sorry. He did not have fun, I don't think.
Also, that had something to do with Lauren Bacall. I think that she suggested that he stay with the film. I thought I remember reading that once.
Maybe.
I have to research that or look it up or whatever. But I thought that either way, it was, meh. And, the remake wasn't that great either. I mean, that was in the 90s. We'll talk about that later. But
I haven't seen that in so long.
And I love Harrison Ford.
Yeah. Got some Star Wars.
Love him, but not my favorite.
Yeah, I've seen it, but not for a long time. Let's see, who else do we like? More Audrey Hepburn.
We like. Always.
Roman Holiday is bittersweet. I usually don't. Spoiler. Anyway, Roman Holiday's been out a long time.
I have a confession to make to say that I've never seen that movie.
Oh,
I know.
Spoiler, they don't end up together. Which
I knew that.
Is usually an issue for me.
But isn't it an age thing again?
She's a princess, so I don't think there's not as big of a gap between those two as there is with like Humphrey Bogart. Like,
oh, she's a princess.
Gregory Peck isn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
She has to go back to her real life or whatever.
Go be a princess forever.
I know.
Jeez. Some people.
So it was like a fond memory thing instead.
We'll always have Paris and all that kind of a different movie again.
Yeah. But they had great chemistry. That's a fun movie.
Is it? Mm-hmm. I have to put that on my list too. I should be making a list. I have homework to do.
Right? Another list.
Another list. Lists all the time. Well, we used to make lists every time we made it. We had a sleepover as kids.
All right.
We were like, we have to make a plan.
Right. There always has to be a plan. I do like a plan.
Yo, man, plan.
Oh, what else? We could talk about Sinatra.
In The Tender Trap, you said?
I did like The Tender Trap. I also really like High Society. Again, controversial. I like High Society better than The Philadelphia Story, which people will fight with me about. However, I am a musicals fan and also a huge Sinatra fan. So if you take that into account...
it makes perfect sense.
You get a duet with him and Bing Crosby, like, sorry.
they have to be in their own categories because
Right.
like
They are not the
you've
same
got
movie.
Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn and Jimmy Stewart.
Right.
Like, I mean, they are two different movies. You have to just
Right.
enjoy them as two separate films.
Right.
I'm glad we can agree on that. Now we won't fight.
And he has really good chemistry with Grace Kelly, even though, spoiler, they don't end up together either. But he also has great chemistry with Celeste Holmes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that works out.
It works out way better.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Are there any classic film couples that we missed? Who are your favorites? Let me know in the comments. Thank you. Bye.